and buongiorno. Welcome to World on My Plate with me, Chef Harsh. Today we're going to be taking a trip to Italy, where we are going to try to recreate one of the most famous and loved dishes throughout the entire world, a simple pepperoni pan pizza. So we have here 1.5 cups of self-raising flour and 1 cup of Greek yogurt. We're going to add the Greek yogurt to the flour. Now we're just going to gently fold the yogurt into the flour until we have a nice dough forming. So as you can see, our dough has formed quite nicely and we're ready to start kneading it by hand. So for that, we're gonna put some flour on our work surface and we will remove the dough onto the surface. So now you just wanna bring the dough together and push it back, okay? We're gonna do this for about 6 to 7 minutes because we wanna get the dough nice and springy and we don't want it to be too sticky. Now, if it gets a little too sticky, you can always add a little bit more flour. So now, as you can see, we've got a nice smooth dough, okay? It's a little bit sticky, but we're gonna add a little bit of olive oil to lubricate it. And you wanna make sure that when you push on it, it springs back just a little bit. Okay, so our dough is ready. So now we're gonna add some olive oil to a bowl, just about 1 teaspoon. Now give it a good wipe around the bowl with your hands. And now we're gonna place our dough in the bowl. Our dough is resting and it's time to start on our tomato sauce. So the first thing we're gonna do is get our pan heated on a medium-high heat. And now we're gonna add 1 tablespoon of olive oil. Our oil is nice and hot now, so we're gonna add our onions. Now we're gonna give them a good mix. Let them saute for about 30 seconds or so. So our onions have gotten nice and brown. And now we're gonna add in our garlic. Now we're gonna mix the garlic very, very well, get it nice and fragrant, maybe a little bit browned, and then we're gonna season this. All right, now we're gonna season our onion and garlic with some Italian seasoning and some red chili flakes. We just need to add about a teaspoon each. And again, we're gonna give that a nice mix. And finally, we're gonna add our tomato puree. Now we're gonna add about 1/2 cup of this. And again, we're gonna mix it really, really well. If the sauce is too thick, you can always add a little bit of water. Don't add too much because it'll become too runny. Always add about a tablespoon of water at a time and keep mixing until you're happy with the consistency. Now we are gonna push out our dough into the shape of our pan. Okay, we don't need to use a rolling pin or anything, nothing fancy about it. Just use your hands and push it out and keep on turning it. So you want it to be like a regular pan pizza where it's slightly thinner in the middle, but the edges have a nice rounded crust. So it'll be a little bit thicker towards the edges. Okay, so our dough has taken the approximate shape and size of our pan, but because this is a pan pizza, we're not going to use an oven at all. So we want to make it on the stovetop. And for that, our pan needs to be piping hot, okay? Okay, so while our pan is getting hot, we're going to quickly brush our dough with a little bit of olive oil. Okay, this is going to help it to get nice and crisp in the pan and start helping to create some of those brown spots that we're going to love. So now you very carefully want to push the pizza dough into the corners of the pan all the way around. Now we're just gonna let the dough cook on the other side for about 2 to 3 minutes until we start seeing some nice golden brown spots. And then we're gonna flip it over, start cooking the bottom side, and start assembling our pizza. Okay, so it's been a couple of minutes. We're gonna check on the color of the bottom of our crust. As you can see, it's not sticking, so that's a great sign. And yeah, we've got some very nice brown color. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna brush this side with oil as well. Now that we've brushed our oil on this side, we're gonna flip our dough over. Now you wanna push it down to make sure that we get the crust on the edges. So our dough is getting nice and browned, and we're ready to start assembling our pizza. The first thing we need to do is add our sauce. Next, we're gonna add some shredded mozzarella cheese. Now, my favorite part, we're gonna add the pepperoni. And finally, we're gonna top this with some delicious fresh basil leaves. And now we're gonna cover this and let the pizza steam so that all that cheese melts and we get a nice, gooey, cheesy pizza. Now we're gonna let this cook for another, say, 4 to 5 minutes until the cheese is nice and melted and bubbly. And then we're gonna remove it to a board and slice it up. So it looks like our stovetop pan pizza is done, and now I'm ready to take it out and slice it up. So here you go, guys. Our pizza is absolutely ready, and I can't wait to dig in. So here you have it, guys, Italy on my plate. Now, because pizza has become so popular all over the world, a lot of people add all sorts of ingredients and toppings to their pizzas, which is absolutely fine, but for me, I wanted to go a little more rustic and simple with ingredients like tomatoes, cheese, and pepperoni. And I'm sure that one bite of this is gonna send you right back to the streets of Italy. So for more recipes like this, please follow and like Times Now Foodie on Facebook and Instagram, and don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel as well.